Hi Fatima, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Fatima is doing some amazing work, but we will hear about Fatima's work from herself. So Fatima, do you want to tell my viewers about what you do?
Okay, so my name is Fatima Gomez. I'm from the Gambia. And yeah, I think basically I'm a young feminist and I do a lot of work with regards to that area. So, for example, I work with the Global Fund for Women, which is a global organization through its Adolescent Girls Advisory Council, which is the first of its kind. And what we do there is basically to just make grant decisions about the organizations we will give grants to, the organizations that have applied for grants. And then I also work with the Global Fund for Women. I work with 11 other girls, and I also work with an initiative called the Education Plus Initiative. That's a collaboration between some of the UN agencies like UNFPA, UNESCO, UN Women, etc. And what we do there is basically to just look for ways and strategies in order to reduce the rate of HIV in Africa and sub-Saharan Africa, to be specific, and specifically targeting secondary school education.
Okay.
Yeah, I also I recently started working with the Children's Rights Innovation Fund, which is more or less like the work that I do with Global Fund for Women. It's basically just also trying to look for ways to give funds to organizations that are working for the welfare of children. Right. And I also work with national organizations, like, for example, I work with Think Young Women, which is a young women-led organization specifically trying to, change the generation of young women through mentorship program, and also trying to encourage young women who are interested in politics. I provide them with trainings and things that they need. And another organization that I work with is called the Woman Boss, where I'm a young woman boss school ambassador, coming up with an initiative that I want to embark on in my community. So I think in a nutshell, this is the work that I'm doing. Everything I do revolves around those work.
I think that is great. That's something which is very close to my heart. So Fatima, why did you choose to do what you're doing?
So it's basically inspired by what I see happening in my surroundings. So I've been raised by my mom and her sister. I think the only man figure I have is my mom's elder sister's husband, my uncle. Okay. So, but I think the most that he does for me is generally providing me with shelter to just live with them. But aside that, all the morals that I have today, I mean, basically everything that contributed to my growth this far is due to my mom and her elder sister. So contrary, that is actually contradicting what the society believes, that women cannot be productive without men. And with that is not what I've seen. That is not how I grew up. And just coming out in my neighborhood and seeing other women being subjected to household expats, that is where their worth ends, and that is where they could actually be productive. And like, I'm a person who does not, just conform to the status quo. I just like questioning the norm. And then I feel like if it's not for my best interest, and if it's not for the best interest of the people around me, that is basically women and young girls, then why should we do it? They need to explain why I should just be reduced to household expat, or just be somebody that would need to wash my brother's clothes because he's a guy, or just cook for my brother because he's a guy, and stuff like that. It's not that I'm against it, but I need to understand why they need to just think that is how best I can be as a human being. So yeah, I think because of all of these things that are happening around me and within my country, or even I know it's happening across the world, but that is what I see. And I just wanted to also play my role in making sure that the status quo changes, and that girls do not believe this, and as time progresses, we will get to realize that we're worthy as human beings. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. We have a group called Changing the Status Quo. So that's what we're also working with. So that is fantastic, Fatima. Any quick advice for youngsters?
Yeah, I think this question, whenever I'm asked it, it's what I basically say is that young people need to understand that whatever they do today, whatever they decide today, is going to reflect on how their children live. So they need to also make sure that they have at the back of their mind that whatever decision they make, they should also consider the people that are coming after them. I mean, we have people that we are working hard before us to make us where we are today, and we owe it to them, and we also owe it to those that are coming after us to provide a better world for them. I mean, it does not make sense if we're going through one thing and our children comes and make the same injustice again. So what they need to understand is that when they see injustice and they decide to conform to it, it's not only going to affect them, but it's going to affect their children and their children's children, and they will not want, they really want them to be proud of them. So if you want your children to be proud of you, I think you should start changing the world. Yeah, through single steps, you get there.
Yeah. So I think you're doing a fantastic work, and good luck. You're still young, so good luck with that. Anything else you want to add about your journey?
My journey? Yeah, I think I recently started a blog series called Celebrating Your Achievements with Fatima. I think what actually inspired that is the fact that I see a lot of women and young people doing very tremendous work, but they don't have the time, or they think it's gonna be, people are gonna see it as bragging if they just some time for themselves to actually celebrate and appreciate how far they've come. So I just wanted to make them understand that that is not bragging. That is actually you taking a moment in your journey and try to appreciate yourself and tell yourself, oh yeah, you did a great job. You deserve a drink, and then have a time for yourself and just appreciate how far you've come. Because if we don't appreciate it, who else is gonna appreciate it for you? I mean, it's never bragging. And if you think you're just gonna follow what people say, when you have to understand that people always talk, no matter how good or bad it is. And if you keep prioritizing their ideas or their thoughts over yours, you will never do a great job, or you'll never be satisfied with whatever you do. So I think that was the main reason why I started the blog series. And I recently started it this September. I featured the first person last week, Kudos. It's something that I'll be doing every Monday. And the second story I'll be doing is this Monday coming. So I think I wanted to do this through storytelling because I really love storytelling, because I believe aside it being interesting, it also can change the narratives. So I think that is one interesting thing that I've started to embark on, and I hope it goes a long way. And the vision is to make people normalize celebrating themselves and their achievements. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Fatima, for being on this platform. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
So big shout out to and kudos to all these amazing young girls who are doing wonderful work around the world. And we have such girls on this platform on a regular basis. So if you've not subscribed to my channels, do subscribe. Thank you so much, Fatima.
Thank you, Ms. Julie. Bye. Have a nice day.